starting at verse 5. And it says, and the Philistines gathered themselves together to fight with Israel, 30,000 chariots, 6,000 horsemen, and people as the sand which is on the seashore in multitude. And they came up and pitched in Michmash, eastward from Bethaven. When the men of Israel saw that they were in a strait, for the people were distressed, then the people did hide themselves in caves and in thickets and in rocks and in high places and in pits. And some of the Hebrews went over Jordan to the land of Gad and Gilead. As for Saul, he was yet in Gilgal, and all the people followed him trembling. And he tarried 7 days, according to the set time that Samuel had appointed. But Samuel came not to Gilgal, and the people were scattered from him. And Saul said, bring hither a burnt offering to me, and peace offerings. And he offered the burnt offering. Now let me pause. We just said only prophets and priests were authorized by God to offer burnt offerings. So Saul just committed a sin. Very important. Saul just committed a sin. He took upon him something he was not authorized to do. Okay? All right, verse 10. And it came to pass, so remember we read he waited 7 days. Okay? Now notice it didn't say that the seventh day had passed yet. Are you with me? He just waited 7 days, and it probably got late in the day, and the people were getting on him because they were scared that the Philistines were coming. And they said, hey, Samuel's not coming. We've waited 7 days. So he took it upon himself to do what he was not supposed to do. And now that he's done it, here shows up Samuel. Verse 10. And it came to pass that as soon as he had made an end of offering the burnt offering, behold, Samuel came, and Saul went out to meet him, and that he might salute him. And Samuel said, what hast thou done? And Saul said, because I saw that the people were scattered from me, and that thou camest not within the days appointed, and that the Philistines gathered themselves together at Michmash, therefore said I, the Philistines will come down now upon me to Gilgal, and I have not made supplication unto the Lord. I forced myself, therefore, and offered a burnt offering. I forced myself. And Samuel said to Saul, thou hast done foolishly. Thou hast not kept the commandment of the Lord thy God, which he commanded thee, for now will the Lord have established thy kingdom over Israel forever. But now thy kingdom shall not continue. The Lord hath sought him a man after his own heart, and the Lord hath commanded him to be captain over his people, because thou hast not kept that which the Lord commanded thee. What we see today in pastors that have this spirit, they start doing things outside of their calling. We know from Ephesians 4:11 there are 5 ministers of Jesus Christ. An apostle, a prophet, an evangelist, a pastor, a teacher. So, let's assume this pastor is called to be a pastor. But because of kingship, because of the need for prosperity and popularity, what we see is they really have taken on the role of also being apostles. Well, let's define an apostle. An apostle establishes churches. Well, what do we see in many of these so-called mega churches? That they have multiple locations. As a matter of fact, the popular catchphrase is one church, 2 locations. That's a popular phrase. One church, 2 locations. They're taking on authority in something they're not authorized to do. A pastor can only be a pastor of one church, because it is impossible for a pastor who's supposed to be a shepherd to know intimately that many people.
Can't do it.
It's impossible. He stops being a pastor. He's supposed to be a shepherd. The shepherd knows his flock, everything about them individually. How else can he intercede for them? How else can he pray for them? That's one of the main jobs of the shepherd. So we see the same spirit operating in the pastors today. They start taking on other ministries that's not theirs, that God did not give to them, that God did not call them to.